What's going on? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I am not in front of the green screen and I go deep into the astrology of the week. And this week we're going to be talking about is about February 26th to about March 2nd and 3rd, so Wednesday to Wednesday, and 2015. And sorry that there is not two cameras for the shoot. I just needed to get this one up. And sorry it's not outside, but you know what? This show's uncut, so it's always just going to be me, raw and real, no matter where I am at. And there's a lot to talk about right now. First off, if you remember from last week's show, we talked about how I believe this next 6-week period is a grand finale. Now, to be honest with you, I think there are two grand finale shows. I don't know if you ever, well, especially us Americans, we have big July 4th celebrations, and sometimes there are two grand finales. Or sometimes there's that one big one, but you can always look for that second one, whether it's in the town next door or something. And this year there are two big grand finales. That's because we're going to have the Pluto-Uranus square, which finishes up in the next couple weeks with a lunar eclipse that will highlight it. That's one big grand finale. And we're going to have the big T-square of this year with Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, which comes at the end of summer and into the fall, depending on where you're at in the world, of course. But I'm doing Western astrology from the Northern Hemisphere. So it's definitely a two-part year, totally different energies too. So the first big grand finale is much bigger because it is a longer term transit we've been going through, the Pluto-Uranus square, which started in 2012 and is finishing up in the middle of 2015 here, but mainly it will start to officially finish March of 2015. But we'll see the break-off really happen a couple months after that. And so we're on the build-up. I'm sure you can feel it now because we have the south node, which the nodes are these invisible knots in space, and the south part of that knot is in Aries. And with Uranus there on top of that, and Pluto squaring it, and more importantly, Mars and Venus have now entered this space, this Aries story is incredibly powerful. And Aries is, gonna be real, one of the top 3 most strongest signs in the zodiac, so it pushes things, it forces you into things, and that's what Mars does. Mars is pushy. He gets what he wants in Aries. He destroys villages. He gets the name he wants. He wears the clothes he wants. He does his hair the way he wants to. There is no delay. It just pushes things. And with Venus that's been conjuncting this space, Venus does not like to be in Aries. This is where she's at her quote-unquote detriment. That's because she loves to be in good old Libra, where there's fairness and balance and beautiful sunsets. In Aries, it's the bugle horn in the morning and get up, get up, get up. You can't pick a side. You're going to war. You're going to war. And it's like, what? I got to go to war? There's no peace? Sorry. You know, pick up the gun, Miss Diplomat, and go out there. It's very difficult for Venus in Aries, to be honest, because it's also a very independent energy. You can't go to war with your wife or husband. You know, it's like, sorry, I got to talk to you when I get back from the war. And that's why Aries rules war. It's the morning, it's the moment where you siege, it's the taking over of things in your life. Not so easy with the south node here, because, especially with Uranus on the bottom of it, you know, we're finding ways to, or different ways to, you know, take siege in our life. This is also the sign of courage. So in many ways, courage has been a very powerful aspect since Uranus came into Aries in 2010 and 11 there, that whole transitional period. And we've really stepped into the 2010s into stepping into, you know, really finding your courage, really finding your strength, knowing your identity, having to really find new ways to do this. And this is just being pushed into lots of situations right now. And the sun, which has just been conjuncting Neptune and Pisces, has been like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I want to stay back. I want to relax. Let's just chill out. Can't we just be smoking weed here in the corner? You know? No. Sorry. You know, Mars is pushing it. Venus is having to go with it. There's this huge seeding. There's this huge, you know, some people call it the Kundalini, which is so extreme you don't even know what to do with it. And with Saturn that's been trining this, in Sagittarius, you know, it's pushing the doors open. You know, it's like the universe is pushing us into the doors. We got to open the doorways. We got Jupiter and Leo that's, you know, adding to this searching for more fire, searching for more brightness, and we got to open these doors to get there. It's almost like the light ran out in all these places in our life, and we've got to go through a gnarly cliff jump to get there. I say that because Pluto-Uranus, which, by the way, this week are exactly 14 degrees, and Pluto's about to come to 15 here, and Uranus is about to come to 15 in the next couple weeks, and we're about to have a big Pluto-Uranus square. The last one, probably in our lives. Unless they figure out a way for me to become like 120 or something. You never know, though. So the main message of this energy coming up is, I want to prepare you for the long term. That we're in this one for the next, 5-6 weeks. Once April 4th clears, there's a nice, moment there to kind of, wow, we went through that. But the buildup is extreme. And this week, we're getting ready for a full moon that starts next week. We've got Venus, which is going to be very powerful as it's about to hump over the south node. It's also about to come on top of Uranus, and it's about to start to trine over to Jupiter. So relationship aspects are on the incredible aspect this month or this week, because Uranus on the south node is almost going to clear karmic debts and relationships, reinvent them, bring a lot of exciting aspects. And with the north node in Libra, I think that these are new alliances being formed that might have never come about before, that really allows you to maybe try new aspects of relationships you never have been able to. And so there's a lot of, I think, positive aspects here. The negative in it is, this is old relationship patterns we're going to have to face to get out of. On top of that, we're also going to have Jupiter and Uranus make a trine this week, which, even though Jupiter is retrograde, I think that this is really forcing us into some really radical situations. I'm saying that because we've also got Mercury in Aquarius, which is going to sextile Uranus. So this is a big epiphany week. This next 7 days is huge epiphanies, new ways to understand your life, new ways to find courage. But Mercury is also opposing Jupiter, so big belief structure tests, big mind stuff going on, and Uranus is going to be in the middle of it. This is like alien contact kind of energy, I think. It's like UFOs. This is kind of connecting with the other side in weird ways. This is radical stuff. So if you're feeling very alien and weird and different, you're not alone. This is where you can kind of feel the fourth dimension beings touching you a little bit, Oh, whoa, stop poking me. Because this is going to pop the top off in many ways of our perceptions. We're going through radical mind changes right now. Radical. And so this week's going to change that dramatically. We're going to have 6 planets in fire by Monday. It's actually Sunday, Monday. And so there's a lot of fire brewing. There's a lot kicking up, and a lot of the heat and a lot of the intensity coming, and a lot of things to face. And that Sun in Pisces doesn't know how to deal with that. Like, we're going to have to surrender to whatever all these big fires are burning and learn to accept, to go with acceptance. This is also going to be so extreme because we'll have the moon on Jupiter and we'll trine over to Uranus. And I think that a lot of this really is this, you're changing your whole perception of life. This is like life coming in extreme new ways, new situations, and with Venus there, new projects, relationships that are really changing where you're going. And so I'd be prepared to really just start to see things shift here for you, your perception, you start to build up new, exciting energy of where you're going. But I think the difficulty is this Pluto-Uranus realizing that it is extreme. There's pressure to be strong. There's pressure to kind of face deep fears still. And this is radically building and coming up more and coming up more. And it really is about finding balance. But I think the only way to get there is by learning to take initiative towards things in your life that you're going to have to pull out of your old patterns to get into a place of balance. So it's a unique aspect. And with a full moon brewing, this is going to be an intense karmic time of new karma building. Like this is you building stuff that's going to be connected with your soul for a long time. And just get prepared. Get prepared to be radically shifted in your perception. Be prepared to see what is the other side trying to tell you. What are the radical things coming in? What are you ready to make change in your life with? It's going to push you and push you and push you. And we've got Mars getting ready to come into the middle of all this. And I'm telling you, you're going to see that no matter what you do, no matter how much you try to stay behind the curtain, it will not happen. No matter how much you try to avoid situations, you can't avoid them. So my lesson for the week is relax when you're in the situations. There's nothing you can do. And I don't want to scare you or blow your mind a little bit, but what if everything that's happening right now is because we are being pushed into the situations from another energy source that you don't have a control of how they get you there. Big full moon coming up. Check out my apps if you want to go deeper into the day-to-day horoscopes, my daily tarot, my daily sun sign, or my weekly sun sign horoscopes as well. Let all this stuff come your way. Radical relationship stuff. I'm excited to see where this takes everybody, and thanks so much for all the support, guys. Radical stuff. I'll see you guys next week.